The nation and its people remain hopeless and miserable than ever before. Liberians seem very thirsty for real change and genuine solution, but the CDC-led government appears unfit, unfertile, and clumsy to rescue the country from prevailing economic discontent that is already experiencing zero foreign direct investment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Liberians, as we jointly experience together a series of different economic challenges as people of this great nation, as an effect of the chronic economic and increasing hardship in this vast regime, we also agree never to forget the record attack on the rule of law that has witnessed the persistent and consistent violation of our constitution and other laws of the land, bad governance and poor public administration, attack on press freedoms and our democracy, and many other unfulfilled promises. But with God being on our side in our national quest for freedom, justice, and prosperity, we can now optimistically confirm and assure you that we are seeing a very bright light at the end of the tunnel. As the Bible rightly stated, weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. Distinguished fellow liberators and members of the Fourth Estate, with the 2023 general elections in mind as the only medium through which true liberation of the people can be achieved democratically, the CDC-led regime headed by superstar George Monowia is bent on employing an already known traditional method of politicking, which requires the misuse and abuse of state power and further looting of state governments to sponsor gang groups of various kinds, armed with lethality and charged with the sole responsibility of instigating total violent social disorder in every corner of our country before and during electionary period, and to finance their CDC trained and hired assassins to eliminate people as important target to them in order to perpetuate themselves into power and protect the ill-gotten wealth. On one hand, while on the other hand, we are also conscientiously following and witnessing the speeded metamorphosis of group of professional and career criminals who admittedly announce on various media that during their 12 years of state management, they willingly and willfully, with clear conscience, intentionally squander opportunities that were meant for the progress of our nation and all its people under a specific nomenclature in an effort of disguising themselves of their real corrupt and evil identity in their naked quest for regaining state power, which in the mind of the PLP's national youth leadership will never land on a fertile ground of our political landscape. Liberation! The time is now! Liberation! The time is now! The time is now! We are ready! At this vantage point in the contemporary history of our country, while the Liberian people are tirelessly and disappointingly spectating these fruitless spectacles of both CDC and the Unity Party-led CPP, we witness the emergence of PLP not just as a newly certificated political party, but a national liberation movement serving as a game changer and a new hope for the Liberian people. My fellow distinguished citizens, in view of the aforesaid, the leadership of the National Youth Assembly wants to categorically present to you, the Liberian people, Dr. Daniel E. Cassiel and the People's Liberation Party as the beacon of hope and the only viable and genuine alternative for political leadership for a sustainable democracy that guarantees prosperity and security for the citizens. To move this country forward, PLP will change this country, We also want to use this occasion as an opportunity to inform the general public that Dr. Dana E. Kassir is a true Liberian that hails from Lofa County and member of the Bandi ethnic instruction or tribe. He is married to Madam Belu Rose Coleman Kassir, who hails from Grand Kitmount County and member of the Va tribe. They are both surviving with 6 children, devotedly serving our one true God and the Lord of hosts. Dr. Kassir is a well-educated man and an American twin with BSc degree in kinesiology and psychology. He also earned his first master in the area of public health, with second master in psychology and emphasis in behavioral medicine, the same disciplines in which he obtained his PhD. The emergence of Dr. Kassir as the political leader of the People's Liberation Party in our Liberian politics has not just only sent a shock in the spans of failed politicians, but has come to us Liberians as a joyous daybreak and a major break away from the old politics of deception and sinister operations of greedy politicians whose only agenda is to gain state power as a channel of achieving their selfish parochial criminal interests of enriching themselves at the detriment of the suffering masses. This genuine call of the appealing silence of the majority shall constrain us all to conform to the very idea of liberation for the masses ignited by Dr. Dana E. Kassir and the PLP's family, so that together we can march straight forward with a heart filled with one purpose of love, commitment, and sacrifice to the cause of redeeming the motherland through the ballot box and the subsequent taking over of state management.
Liberation! The time is now! Liberation! The time is now! The time is now! We are ready!
When Dr. Dana E. Kassir and the People's Liberation Party's family shall have taken over the presidency of the state, this rotten, inferior, and chaotic educational system that is engulfed with all forms of academic exploitation and backwardness shall be replaced with a popular, compulsory, quality, effective, and decentralized functional educational system with an all-available access for all Liberians.
Liberation! The time is now!
It shall also be a distinct repository of knowledge. We shall produce an incredible excellence in all sectors of our society, which include, but not limited to the following: the agricultural sector, the health sector, the security sector, the economic sector, the infrastructural sector, as well as in the judiciary system, not forgetting the area of science and technology, etc., etc. When Dr. Dana E. Kassir and the PLP's family shall have taken over the presidency of the state, this import-based, antiquated economic system that is noted for only afflicting painful and deteriorating economic difficulties or challenges shall be replaced with a rule-based labor market system which supports fair competition and the protection of all competitors. An industrialized economy where all the means of production shall be made available to support individual capitalism consistent with global rules of free market system. An economic crime code shall be established to fast-track recovery process of all lost assets and to expeditiously adjudicate individual who engages into financial misappropriation or system defraud for the purpose of gaining undue financial advantage at the expense of state laundering.
Liberation! The time is now! Liberation! The time is now! Economic crime code! The time is now! Economic crime code! The time is now! Economic crime code! The time is now! Oh, the PLP has done the establishment of the World Crime Code. Yo!
Modern agro initiatives at the industrial scale will equally be replacing subsistence farming. Processing plants for agricultural products shall be erected at various necessary locations for the purpose of production. The Made in Liberia inscription will be registered on all our locally made and exported goods that will be shipped to the world market.
Long live our economic policy. Long live. Made in Liberia economic policy.
Liberian labor force, finding lucrative job will be at all time easy. There shall be a sustained, conducive environment for all who believe in the struggle for endless and fair accumulation of wealth. Equally so, people who dislike the path of hard work but believe that thievery is only the cool access to prosperity will always be found behind the rusted bar of South Beach and in other prison facilities. Liberia shall no longer be a safe haven for any criminal or the ground for the commission of any crime. The culture of impunity that has long overwhelmed our country shall be no more. The establishment of war crimes code shall be a must. People who committed heinous atrocities and other war crimes shall be harshly punished. To discourage violence and unlawfulness in all forms and to set a new deterrence to potential perpetrators of crime in the future. When Dr. Daniel E. Cassell shall take over state power, Liberians shall be honorably evacuated from all those occupied prehistoric Memphis structures erected around the country and ushered into a well-designed modern architectural structure to experience the true meaning of modern civilization. With Dr. Cassell as president of the Republic of Liberia, a new Liberia with freedom, where freedom and justice for all shall roll down like a stream of water. A new Liberia where patriotism in the security sector will triple the height of Mount Everest, and the power of our armed forces will be consistent in both air and sea superiority. As a professionally equipped and modernized ground force shall be realized to protect fundamental rights of the people and the sovereignty of our beloved nation. Liberation, the stain of illiteracy shall be no more. A new Liberia that shall be regarded as a middle-income country will now emerge, and our name shall be erased from being a third world country to a first world country. Our traditional cultural activities will now become our added value that shall be taught in our school system and in every home in order to maintain our beautiful God-given ways of life. Therefore, as the call has been made, it is falling unto you to disconnect yourself from individual or institution that does not represent the sincere cause of the new Liberia, which has been envisaged by the PLP's family and been done with this movement in history to effectuate the aforesaid in the physical reality. This is a responsibility that we, the leadership of the National Youth Assembly of the People's Liberation Parties, cannot afford passing on to the next generation. With vigor and determination, with humbleness and confidence, with faith in the promise of tomorrow, let us march straight together, enduring supporters in the cause of Liberia that is more peaceful, more flourishing, and more just. The time is now, and we are ready. Long live the People's Liberation Party. Long live the liberating spirit of all liberators. Long live the fighting spirit of Dr. Daniel E. Cassell and the national chairman, Chairman William J. MP. Long live the struggle for social justice and economic freedom for all. And long live the peace-loving people of Liberia. And God bless Liberia. Done on this 24th day of May 18, 2021, signed Kelvin Adonis Vonda, Secretary General, and approved Carlos Timbales, Chairman of the National Youth Assembly of the People's Liberation Party.
So quickly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the most powerful man, I just presented a clear roadmap to the liberation of our country. We will not be here for long. We will evolve to use the 4 estates, a maximum of at least 5 questions, so as to probably you did not get anything correctly, so as to get it correctly. Thank you very much. So your name and the institution for which you represent.
Okay. My name is Badri Khan. We talk about so many things on the PLP document. We didn't give all a clear roadmap as to how the PLP is going to achieve some of these things that you talk about.
Another one. 2 into 1. Who else?
Okay, my name is Ramel Umar from this publisher. We talk about the establishment of war and economic plan coach. What are some of those mechanisms that your political leader has already put in place while awaiting the definitive in that position?
Thank you so much. And the first question spoke about one mechanism to achieve some of those things that we just made mention of. This is the whole idea, a pictorial of the whole idea for which PLP stands for. So what mechanism is a decision, is a technical framework that is on the way. And that is a strategic work that is being done by the GPC of the People's Liberation Party. But what is needful for the public to consume now is to present to you what is the summary of our idea of liberation that we are professing. And to my good friend and sister, Neva, you talk about mechanism of war plan code and what contribution are we making. The fact that we are having an elaborate press conference and highlighting how the PLP's led government will be led is in itself a major contribution to the establishment of the war and economic plan code. Never you forget that the establishment of the code is the sole responsibility of the government to sign into law. Now we are not taking over state power. So whether they do it or not, we are going to effectuate that to be able to provide a condition where Liberians can be served justice.
Thank you very much. Another person? Okay, I think it is clear. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, we want to appreciate you, and always we will continue to do this as a liberational party to ensure that the people of this country will be liberated one day. Liberation! Liberation! Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.